Like for people with him, and of course with George Takei and Will Wheaton and like everyone else, in Summer Glau, I mean, sweet Jesus. I mean, the line for Adam Baldwin was pretty big, but the line for Summer Glau,
Yeah.
my goodness.
I saw it for a second. I'm like, oh, well, here's the end of the line. I don't need to see anybody, but I guess I could do that. And then it was mostly because the booth managers were doing really crappy. It looked like there was another line that looked like it was going somewhere else. No, this was the runoff for this line too. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I don't think I'm meeting any celebrities today because I was just there for one day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't need to see the media guests.
No.
I can live without it. It would have been cool if I'd been able to get my Firefly signed by Summer Glau and Adam Baldwin. But
I was more focused on the voice actors who I met on all the days, and especially with Tara Strong, who I didn't cry in front of, but I literally did freeze going Mahamanama Hama.
Literally, that happened.
Literally Manama Hamana.
Wow, you were so cool.
And I was purple red too. I was like I get red just talking. I was like purple.
Well, weren't you in line for her when your friend told me stop that, you're getting Batman rape eyes?
Well, I was getting Batman rape eyes. I was standing in line for Tara, and I saw Kevin Conroy walk up, and he had just done the I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman, and I'm just staring at him like.
I'm so sad I didn't get to meet him this year. That was my other.
Yeah.
I was staring at him like I wanted to eat him, or so I was just like staring at him. My eyes were just like.
Did you hear about the Kevin Conroy story where he did that after 9/11?
Yes, I have heard that
that's
story, which is actually one of the most beautiful, inspiring stories.
That's one of the most. And if you don't know the story, you just need to look it up. Because
I think one of you should tell it.
Okay,
he'll tell it better because I've talked way too much.
Well, no, and the story was after 9/11, Kevin Conroy was in Manhattan and he volunteered to basically feed the Ground Zero rescue workers and people.
Yeah, work in the food kitchen.
But Kevin Conroy was working in the kitchen there for all these rescue workers, and he was talking to one of the other people who was working back there. And the person says, I've heard your voice somewhere. Do I know you? Are you an actor? He's like, oh, I've done some voice acting, some stuff,
It's not
and then the guy just freezes like, oh my god, I knew it, you're Batman. It's like, yeah, I am Batman. And then the guy goes outside where all these firefighters and cops are, and he's just like, you'll never guess who's working here. And he's just like, man, nobody's going to care. It's like, we have Batman here. And you just hear the silence, and they ask, prove it. He just hears prove it coming from out there. And then in response, he just shouts out,
I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
Which was answered by applause.
Everyone just started clapping.
And of course, everybody then comes back in and wants to talk. And was like, "Yeah, I loved watching that show with my kids. I enjoyed it a lot, and definitely something that was just something they needed right after all that had happened."
Yeah, for that story, and that was just one of the greatest things I'd heard. And I think it was funny when I heard that, I was just waiting. If I would have heard Mark Hamill doing his Joker laugh, or Adam West somehow swinging in from a mine somewhere because he's Adam West, I think I would have had a heart attack and keeled over right on the spot.
I would have died happy too.
I would have died with a big grin on my face. But hearing that just brought back so many childhood memories, and I was just staring, and then my friend was just like.
Well, I think that really also speaks to how much Batman the Animated Series resonated, because the people who he was addressing there were not kids who'd grown up with this. These were adults who had watched it with their kids and still enjoyed it that much and thought that was a big deal.
Well, because it was one of those shows that could resonate with kids and adults. It didn't need to talk down to anybody to really be as good as it was. It was just good. Great. It was amazing. But,
which is why it won Emmys.
Yeah. It didn't need to prove anything. It was Batman. And it was awesome. And if you haven't seen it, you probably don't live in America. Or you're a terrible person. One of the two.
I think you're a terrible person.
I've met many terrible people who've not seen it.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, that's absolutely heartbreaking. But, no, and that was so great, but it was funny, and then I got up to her, because I have an interesting connection with Tara Strong. My grandparents got.
I was gonna say, you've stalked her.
I was like, you pulled me in a Bruce Tim? You stuffed her all the con. I knew it.
My grandpa got. My grandpa was my father figure growing up, and he got cancer in 2004, and it was a really hard time. But I also couldn't kind of understand it because I was younger. And so what they would do is but it was still kind of heart wrenching because they suffer like that. And so what I would do is they had like a little waiting room thing, and I would just sit there and watch TV, and all the shows I would watch were literally Teen Titans, Fairly Odd Parents, Batman the Animated Series, for which she was Batgirl.
Right.
And I would watch like basically shows that she had some form or another in playing, and she was always my favorite character. People kind of thought it was weird. Raven was my favorite character, but
Raven was my favorite character.
Raven was awesome. But it was just one of those things, and I said inadvertently, it really helped me out through a lot of hard times, and so it was kind of that special connection kind of thing, and so that was part of me why I went up and I was like, Mom. John DiMaggio, who is kind of funny because he sounds and acts exactly like Bender.
I wish I could have met him so I could have him do like an Aquaman impression from Batman Brave and the Bold.
Outrageous!
Yeah, so good.
Well, what's funny is my friend there, I just wanted to get inside Gears of War. So I just wanted to sign up. It's like, it's really nice to meet you. Also, the fact that you're a really tall, really good-looking ginger guy makes me love the world a little bit more. Because there are people out there.
Conan O'Brien is one of them.
Oh, yes. But Conan O'Brien wasn't in Seattle. So I'll take what I can get.
Not this week.
And so I met him, and then my friend went up and was like, say bye my shiny metal ass. And he literally grabbed his camera and went, give me that. Please say bye my shiny metal ass. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. What's your name? Giuliano? Oh, Giuliano, what's the matter you? And then he did like a really racist Italian accent and was just doing that for like, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. And he did that, he was even doing the hand gestures and everything. He's like, how's that? And my friend Giuliano was just standing there like,
awesome.
And he
He just got told off by Bender.
He was just like, good. And I'm just like, there you go, man. That's good times for you. That was great. Although I had the one kind of person that broke into his voice besides Batman that kind of made me all giddy inside was Jess Harnell, who played the voice of Wacko on Animaniacs. I'm just like, and I met him on Sunday, and it was like the last signing kind of thing. And it was just like, I've met everybody else. I haven't met him yet. I don't really have anything for him to sign because Animaniacs, the first volume, costs like $43. And as much as I like the show,
sorry guys.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
the only way to get it, yar har har.
Yeah. Or iTunes, which is like $19.99 for like 2 seasons. And it's like, yeah, all pirates are. I mean, I've never pirated, and you should never pirate because pirating is bad. I mean, yeah, that. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just kind of funny. I didn't have, so I just got to sign my badge. But I'm just like, I was a huge fan of. I was a huge fan of Animaniacs. I really like it. And then he burst into his black voice. Well, that's because you're a genius, Travis, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You're quite a talented guy. And just hearing Wacko say that just reaffirmed my life in this world.